that's the worst take ever, but that's my take. That's really what I believe. Like,
well, also, like,
ketchup?
growing up, I didn't eat burgers until I was like a junior in high school.
Hold on.
I didn't have burgers until junior high school.
That needs to be in this dang thing.
What?
We need to clip that
I didn't
right
have
there. That
burgers
has to
until
be
junior high
in
school.
the freaking
Oh
video.
my God, I have to put that out. I didn't
And
eat
then-
burgers
and
until I was a
then-
junior in high school.
And then after I had one, that was my junior year, and then I didn't eat one again until we went to Wendy's and do the 4 for $4. Dead.
Dude, I'm
ass.
so blown away right now.
Nothing explains you better than what you just said, Romo. Nothing. I respect a good cheese dog. I respect a good
Beef
cheese.
dog or a chili dog.
What do you
You
put
take
on your
some
hot
Bob's Dogs, go to Bob's Dogs, and get a hot dog. Have him put the
Get a
nacho
hot
cheese
dog.
on it, and then cover it in ketchup. Yeah, bro.
Man.
Yeah, y'all remember? Y'all see Brandon's message today?
Yeah, I did. I was like, somewhere Cory's shedding a tear. I know you're busy
what?
getting ready for regionals, but Brandon said that Bob's Dogs was catering at Greenwood today or
Yeah.
or something. I don't remember wherever Brandon's at. He said they were catering.
Brandon's at Chaffin. They were at Greenwood.
Yeah, why did he say that? Did he just drive to Greenwood for a Bob's Dog?
I think
Like,
he saw it
that
on
would be a
Facebook.
psycho move. Oh man. I feel like Cory, you read this list and like just like stopped at number 1 and didn't think about any of the rest of it.
No, I definitely looked at all of them. The hard or the word of
Worst
English.
word.
English are hard. English is hard.
Yeah.
But I was leaning towards, and I don't know. I tried to think about it a little bit more, but I can't really think of words that I like.
I know the word. I know the word that I
don't
hate.
care for.
Dan, say it on the count of 3.
Wait,
One, no.
Wait, no. Do you know what I want to say?
Yes, I
think
know
I
what you're
know.
gonna say. All right.
Uh,
1, 2, 3. Moist.
Good bar.
Yep. Good bar. Oh man.
So, and I was gonna take more of a serious route with it,
And say what?
and say
That's a
failure.
serious answer. I hate the word. It just makes my
What'd
skin
you say, Cory?
I was gonna go failure. I don't like the word failure. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. That's a like corny.
More serious
That's
route.
a corny answer, but it's moist.
That's a try hard answer.
Yeah. No, I never even thought about moist, but I kind of like the word moist.
Stop saying the word.
The most useless thing that I ever learned in school.
Yeah, I actually went around asking other teachers that in the hallway today and put them on the spot and everything and got some interesting answers. I wish I would have kind of like videoed it and recorded it, but I got some interesting answers there.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah. I feel like that's about it.
The most likable athlete.
Most universally loved athlete. Like all time. Like nobody, like nobody could say anything negative about him. Yeah, and go. I talked about this with Titus and Sam earlier too.
I feel like that one's a tough one, but you really think like overall sports. I mean, besides probably the few that hate him around his family, like Tiger was loved. Like you didn't ever really hear like hate on Tiger until all of his scandal shit.
That's true.
And even then, it was still like Tiger's the GOAT.
That's what I'm saying is like you still tuned into the Masters a couple years ago when you found out he was on the leaderboard and playing for a green jacket on the final day or whatever. Like,
yeah. Everybody was rooting for him then, honestly.
That's what I'm saying is like everybody loved him so much that
they looked past that shit.
You look past it, which I know is crazy. Like, and honestly, RIP, but Kobe was kind of the same way. Like Kobe had all that stuff that happened, and like there were some people that could say maybe he's like too selfish and all that stuff. But I feel like for like
maybe as a basketball player, some people hated him, but you couldn't hate him.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like the people that hated him as a basketball player were probably mostly like Lakers fans when he just stopped passing towards the end of his career. But I don't know. Dan, you got one?
Yeah. So basketball just comes to mind. I was thinking like Steve Nash and like Tim Duncan, like those kind of players like that.
Yep. Yep. Those are good answers.
Dirk.
That's
bro.
what Titus. That's one of the ones that Titus
Dirk
is
from
named
the
throughout
fitness
there.
center or Dirk from the
Yes,
Mavs?
Dirk from the fitness center.
Oh no! But the one that Titus said was Ken Griffey Jr.
Nice.
Never did steroids. Played the game the right way. Played hard. Kind of flashy, but he's also one of those. He's one of those guys too that gets helped out by the fact that he played in Seattle and they had no rivals, so
Yeah.
he hated him.
He was
But
just damn good.
huh?
I say he was just damn good.
Yep. But
Who's your favorite NFL player that hasn't won a Super Bowl?
favorite NFL player that hasn't won a Super Bowl? Well, it's got to be a Cowboy because we haven't won one in my lifetime. So, are we talking like a guy that I feel like deserved to win a Super Bowl? Or are we talking like
a guy that had a decent career, but it's just like it never went anywhere. I think you know where I'm going with this.
I feel like you're gonna say Tony Romo, but I don't.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I don't know.
Phillip Rivers.
I do love Phil Rivers. I mean,
Damn.
he had like
talk about a dude that talks trash and doesn't even cuss. That's a guy that's I feel like universally loved too. But
has 17 kids. Like can't pull out a driveway to save his life.
Yeah, he's one. I feel like he deserves to get one. But
and now for something completely different.
All right, we now welcome on to Grant and guest, my brother, the ugly one there on the left, Dillon Gash, and Skyler Barnes, the bearded one. Anyway, so yeah, Dillon and Skyler, welcome to the podcast for the very first time. It's a pleasure having you boys on.
It's great to be here.
Glad to be here.
Great day off.
All right, so we want to get into some of more life's ridiculous hypothetical questions tonight, and that's what we're going to do. We've been talking about this for a couple days, and all of this kind of started by asking what the least important thing you ever learned in school was, and Dillon told me that his was cursive, and Skyler, I don't think you actually gave me an answer.
Well, that's because Skyler never learned anything in school.
Everything I learned was helpful because I went to the Farmington High School.
Okay, but you can't tell me you didn't learn unimportant at Ozark.
Honestly, probably like algebra or something. I mean, I don't use algebra. Think about it. I mean, don't you teach algebra?
I do teach algebra, which is a shot at me, which is fine. But you technically use algebra when you decide how much money you can and can't spend every month.
No. I just look at my account.
That's not how it works. But anyway. Dillon, did you come up with another answer for that?
No, I'm pretty sure cursive, and I think we talked about Punnett squares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that has to be top 3 most.
You remember that, Skyler?
We're not throwing shade at the cursive.
Why?
How am I supposed to sign checks?
That is true. There are definitely kids that we tell them to like sign their name for things in basketball, and they like write their name in print.
Yeah,
it's a legal signature to put an X. You don't need to know cursive.
True. Was that really necessary? Casually eating nerds at 9-10 p.m.
I'm an adult now. I'm doing it.
I don't know. I thought cursive was a really good answer. I remember learning the state's capitals, and I feel like that's not really important because of how little I actually go places. But I remember having to probably not having to have those memorized, but I do remember memorizing them at one point.
What is the capital of Wyoming?
Cheyenne.
Jackson.
Fact check.
Jackson? Give me a Google.
We're going to fact check.
I think it is Cheyenne.
I think it's Cheyenne.
There is a Jackson, Wyoming.
Cheyenne.
Gosh!
Got it. So, I don't know. How far did you actually get down this list of stuff that I sent you to kind of think about?
You want my honest answer?
Yeah, you got to number one.
I was just gonna improv everything.
Okay, that's fine. I feel like that's what a lot of people do. And if you've got
Dude, I took drama 1 and 2.
if you're kind of witty, you can come up with that whenever, but you know.
Actually,
What?
big drama.
Yeah, dude. It's a free class. It was sick.
What?
He took drama class.
Took drama in high school.
In high school?
I mean, I'm halfway an actor. I'm incredible.
Who is the most hateable celebrity?
I don't know. Oh, Jake Paul.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Man, I get the whole, trying to be famous, but I don't like when people try to like change and be like, kind of like, and if you want to edit this out, you can. It's just to be famous.
Yeah.
But that kind of annoys me.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. I mean, he does make way more money than any of us ever will, but
Yeah, I get that.
who is the worst TV show character of all time?
For all of my anime watching friends, it's easily Sakura. And you guys don't know what I'm talking about, but
No clue.
everyone that
No, just explain
I'm
it.
talking about,
Not a clue.
they will 100% agree.
What is that from?
Naruto.
And why is that a dude or a girl?
It's a girl, and I just
You gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's tough.
Everybody tune into
Garbage
Naruto
can.
every Friday
If a
night.
garbage can was a character, it'd be her.
What would yours be?
Mine is Debbie Gallagher from Shameless, which not everybody watches that show, but a lot of people do. And she's just the absolute worst. Like every time anything's going good for her family, she finds a way to mess it up. And it's always about her. And she's really selfish and everything like that. And I just can't stand her. She sucks. So
By the way, I am not sponsored by Nerds, but if I was, this would be the variety pack I would pick.
if you had to eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? And that's like variations of that food.
Taco salad.
That is incredibly specific. I mean, you can go that specific.
That's good. But think about how, you could get chicken or steak or mixed. You could put in the veggies.
That does fall into the taco category, but that was just a bizarre.
Eat it with the shell, eat it without the shell. I just gave probably one of the best podcast answers ever. Think about it.
I think Dillon and I might have talked about this the other day. Yeah, we did, but I'm curious to hear your answer, Skyler. What is the worst song of all time?
What about any song by Thomas Rhett? Sorry, Thomas.
Any song by Sam
Tom.
Hunt, just about.
Does Tom tune into this? Big Tom's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag him in the pod. Is cereal a soup?
No.
Technically.
Yeah. Elaborate. No, keep going.
No.
It could be.
Could be, I guess, but no.
What defines a soup?
The society.
What defines a soup?
Society defines soup.
Isn't a soup just made up of ingredients?
Isn't everything made up of ingredients, Grant?
Nope.
Cereal is not a soup because it's not made by Campbell's. That's why. If it ain't Campbell's, it ain't right.
Oh, man. Okay, along the lines of that question, is a burger a sandwich?
I used to use that line on Tinder. Got great responses.
Woo. Can we get a Bosley commercial in here real quick? Wow. I'm gonna shave my head for my New Year's resolution.
Ooh. Anyway. Okay, so last thing to end the show here. I appreciate having you guys on. It's been a blast.
We've appreciated being on.
Good to know that this has made
Blast.
you realize, Skyler, that you need hair plugs. So that's been awesome as well. So
Yeah.
doesn't look
Good. The next 10 years is not going to be a good one. For
yeah,
him.
it'll be all right. But at least you'll be
Once you cut your hair short for once, let's see what that
yeah,
looks
no, we're not going to do that. But at least you'll be a bald guy with a beard. There's nothing worse than being bald and not having a beard. Like if I go bald, I'm screwed. So
true.
anyway, I want to hear your top 5 Arkansas Razorbacks of all time. This is not necessarily who you think the best 5 Razorbacks of all time are, but your personal top 5 favorite Razorbacks. I kind of would like to start at number 5 for each of us and then go down. I've actually got mine written down, and I know that both of you guys do not.
Hey, I wrote mine down.
Hey, man, I'm improv. I don't need to write it down.
Okay. Well, Dillon and I will share our number 5 first, and then you can share yours, but I would like to go in order.
Top 5 of all time, any sport.
Top 5 all time, any sport. And again, this is not who you think the 5 best Razorbacks are, and doesn't even necessarily have to do anything with their professional career. It is just who your personal favorite 5 Razorbacks ever are. So,
Okay.
Dillon, you go first with your number 5.
I was going to say my number 5 is, no one's going to know who this is, but Paul Henderson, the old guy that we used to work for.
Yep.
Played for football from 1960 to 1963. Went into the Army, jumped out of planes for like 15 years. Just a great dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number 5. Shout out to Paul. Don't know if you're alive, but
Paul really was like one of the nicest guys ever. Like Dillon and I were like little over there and like bagging leaves and everything like that for like the entire summer, like worked there the whole time. And he was a really, really nice guy. So
but played the year, quit playing the year before they won the Natty. That would be tough.
that was tough.
Tough.
I mean, he played with all of those greats. Like
Mhm.
really cool guy. That was a good answer. My number 5 is Carson Shaddy. I know a lot of people want to hate him because he didn't catch pop up and everything like that. But I mean, dude that wore a lot of different hats for the Razorbacks on the baseball field for a few years and worked his way into a minor league opportunity, worked really hard. Kid from Fayetteville, kind of hard not to root for him. Skyler?
Until he dropped that top line.
Yeah. Listen, I don't care. Part of the reason I put him on this list is because I know some people hate him, but I love him, and he's one of my favorite.
I don't even cry, and I cry.
In fact, he's the only baseball player on my list.
Are we going to get into most hated Razorbacks?
Yeah.
We can if you would like to. I'll have to figure out what I will have to figure out what I will cut and keep, because I did say that this would be a little bit shorter. I may just do less of Cory and Romo, but I would be more than okay.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
Well, I have one addition to my most hated list that's related to what you just said.
Okay. So Skyler, you're number 5.
Jerry Jones,
Jerry Jones.
part of the Natty team. He made the Cowboys. I think at this point, I saw the other day, they're the top wealthiest sports team. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe it.
I think it was like $6 billion or something.
Crazy.
Guys made a living, you know.
Absolutely.
It wasn't Johnny Bones Jones.
Dillon, number 4.
My number 4, I think I said Nick Schmidt.
That's a good one.
He could sling it.
Skyler, you know who that is?
I don't think so.
He played back in what, 07,
08, something like that.
07, 08, somewhere in there. And he was a lefty. He was one of our starting pitchers, and he was a stud. Like, I think that he came out in the same Major League Baseball draft as David Price, who ended up being like one of the best pitchers in the last like decade. And Nick Schmidt, I don't think ever made it to the big leagues, which was a bummer. But I mean, he was a first round pick. He was unreal.
A monster at Arkansas.
Had nasty stuff. My number 4 is Brandon Allen. Love Brandon Allen. A lot of people don't. Love BA. Dude was just
We talked about him the other day.
We did.
We beat Texas because of him.
Don't know why he got so much hate.
We looked up a bunch of stats, and he threw for 30.
I know. It
He burned his car.
We set his car on fire.
Yeah. I think his first year as a starter, he had 20 touchdowns and like 5 interceptions. His second year as a starter was like 30 and 8, and we had records both seasons. Like
We haven't had that many passing touchdowns as a team.
I mean, he was the one that ran in that game-winning 2-point conversion against Ole Miss after, I think it was the 4th and 25 game or whatever. And like, yeah.
Throwback.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like,
watched that Phillies.
yep. And the fact that somebody set his truck on fire is just ridiculous. Insane. So, Skyler, number 4.
Tyler Wilson. Hometown kid, and he was a dog.
It's true.
Honestly, really liked him. Tough mentality.
Yep.
Solid quarterback. Wasn't the greatest, but solid quarterback. I just like tough guys, you know? He was a tough guy, man. He could take a hit. He loved it.
Was he ever the starting quarterback with like the big 3 wide receivers, or did he just have Kobe Hamilton?
No, he I don't know.
I can't remember if it was Mallet that had
Mallet definitely had him.
Adams, Wright, and Childs. I just remember the one year of Wilson throwing to Kobe Hamilton like 4 million times. And then it was insane. But that's a good pick too. Dillon, number 3.
Number 3, going Benny baseball. Give me Benintendi. It was electric. Razorback baseball was electric every time he got to the plate.
Yep. Only Golden Spikes winner in Arkansas baseball history. So, yeah,
Loved it. You'd love to see it.
And doing well for himself at the big league level as well. My personal number 3 is Dusty Hannes. Love Dusty. I hate that one of Dusty's years in Fayetteville was one of the
wasted year.
Yeah, we went like 15 and 16 or something like that. It just felt like a total waste.
If he'd won that year before.
Man. Yeah.
Dirty.
One of those dudes that I like I get why he went where he went and everything like that, but like it was really tough that he wasn't there in that year before, and then we sucked so bad. I mean, 15 and 16, and then I think the next year we went like 27 and 9. It was like, it just was like a completely different world. But I love Dusty. I think that he deserves to be an NBA player. I really do. I think he can shoot it well enough, and but yeah, can't not root for him. So, Skyler, number 3.
Rodney Clark. Guy could shoot it. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's been like the MVP either once or twice in whatever league he's playing in overseas. So
I think he was MVP back a few years ago. Maybe twice. I don't know. But I mean,
guy's a bucket.
1 points in a game, he had 13 threes. Like,
guy's a bucket.
I wish he would have stuck it out. Like, I wish he wouldn't have transferred when Mike came in, when Anderson came in, but
still was pretty solid for Butler when he left.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he kind of bridge, like filled in that gap after like Gordon Hayward left.
Yeah,
I had that like weird in between. It was like, oh, is Butler still going to be good or not? And then Rodney shows up, and like after Brad Stevens had left too, I think.
Yeah,
but Dillon, number 2.
Number 2. Michael Qualls.
Cool. That's a good answer. That's a really good answer.
Dude, I'll never forget
dunk of
that.
Yep.
That dunk on Kentucky. I was there. I was hugging strangers. Man, it was great.
Were you at that one, Skyler? Were you guys there together at that one?
I think I was with Cade.
I watched it on TV though.
Okay. Dillon, I remember Dillon. I was there with Tim, I think. Yeah, I was there with Tim, and Dillon was like 15 rows back of me. Like, Dillon was like sitting right by Frank Broyles when he was eating popcorn off the floor of the bleachers or whatever, which was
he wasn't doing good.
I'm dead serious. He's sitting in his chair and he's just reaching down, and the popcorn is on the floor. That's my only memory of Frank Broyles, but he was just eating it right off the floor. It was awesome. But that was insane. That game was for that moment alone, for nothing else that Qualls did. But for that moment alone, that's a good pick.
If that dude would have known how to play basketball, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Instead of just jump, oh my gosh.
Yep. My number 2 is Bobby Portis. Unbelievable college career. Goes from being pretty average when he was a freshman, came in and then being SEC player of the year, getting himself drafted almost in the lottery and everything like that. And then now he's kind of cut out a role for himself in the league as like a, like he's not going to muscle anybody up, but he can shoot the 3 ball. He can rebound a little bit, everything like that. But love Bobby Portis. Skyler, number 2.
Dan Skipper.
Big Dan.
He was almost
Maybe the biggest lineman we've ever had.
Huh?
Maybe the biggest lineman we've ever had.
I'd say probably.
Might be the biggest Razorback period of all time.
He was like 6'9", 340 or something.
I mean, like you think about our basketball team, it's like he's bigger than anyone we've had on our basketball team in the last decade. So
couldn't block worth a flip, but a nice guy.
He did block a field goal one time.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Guy's an animal.
All right. Last but not least, Dillon, number 1.
Yeah, BP is my number 1.
Okay. Why now? Tell everybody why Bobby's your personal number 1.
Bobby's my personal because I've had conversation with him outside of like basketball and stuff, and he was cool. He was chill. He almost came and played on our men's league team. Shout out to Cory for that one.
Cory White, shout out, dude. Scranton.
I'll never forget that. Like we were there at JBGB and Cory just goes, dude, that's Bobby Portis. I'm gonna go talk to him. And he might have had a few beverages, but he just went up and asked him, and he got Bobby Portis' phone number and asked him to play on the men's league team. So
I can't say I've ever asked another man for his phone number, but
almost worked.
Hey, shout out to Cory White, state playoffs, baseball.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Ooh.
I'm gonna bring home the dub on. I think their tournament starts Thursday, maybe Friday.
I'll be there.
My personal number 1. I feel like there's a decent chance this might be Skyler's number 1, which is fine, but it's Darren McFadden. I was old enough to actually get to watch him play. And I remember that's really when I started watching Arkansas football games. And I mean, dude was just goated. Huh?
Said I got that wood.
That wood. Oh man. And then
you guys will never guess my number 1.
It can't be better than Darren McFadden.
Al Jefferson.
Andre,
straight out of Conway, Arkansas, big boy Peyton Hillis. And let me tell you why I love him.
Okay.
He's got the same head structure as me. He's got the same body type, except he's probably 50 pounds less than me. And he pulls semi-trucks, dude. And he was on the Madden cover one year, and
It's true.
Played for the Browns.
He finessed himself a massive contract.
That is true.
The craziest thing I've ever seen was Peyton Hillis on the Browns, who played fullback in college, and was a Madden cover.
Insane. Truly insane.
He could be my stepbrother, though. It's not DNA tested, but it could be. So, still,
Just because of the head shape.
yeah, no doubt. Look at me. I mean,
okay. Last thing. Least favorite Razorbacks of all time. Just name a couple. We won't do top 5.
Let me hit you with some rapid fire. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Eric Cole, because if he wasn't slow, that's his ball 100% of the time.
I agree. That's his ball. He's coming in.
Kai Madden had so much potential and just never – he's a 6'6" point guard that didn't really do that much. Alandis Harris was just tough.
That would be my number 1. I hate that guy.
It's just tough to watch. And then more recently, Connor Vanover, of course, and Desi just really, really got me with all this transfer stuff.
Yep.
Really petty.
That was bad.
That's
Skyler, name a few.
Can't lie to you, man. I have none. Because I'm woo pick forever. Even though they piss me off, don't get me wrong. Connor Vanover, Jacory Williams. There's quite a few.
Jacory was almost on that list.
I don't hate any of them, though, because they're hogs at heart, man, and I love the hogs.
I don't hate any of them. I just that would just be like it was the most frustrated I've ever been with people.
I did almost have a heart attack last basketball season yelling at the TV at Connor Vanover. So, Connor, if you're watching, pick up the play. Put on.
We believe in you.
40 pounds. Eat some steak. Eat some red meat.
In you.
Drink a Busch Light.
I do. I
Making
know this is gonna
TikToks.
it's gonna sound crazy and corny, but I do genuinely believe in him. I really
I
feel
do.
like he can turn
Well, yeah,
it.
he's 7'3".
That's what I'm
And
saying.
I believed in him too.
He's got to figure out how to play in the SEC and not just against the garbage teams who play in non-conference. That's
He's
it.
got to be able to eat a steak and drink a Busch Light and gain some pounds.
He needs 12,000 calories a day. That's what he needs.
He needs to come over to my house and he'd gain some weight. I tell you that much.
Just by default.
Yeah.
It's like absorption from
Yeah.
just being around all that weight.
Nerds. We have plenty of nerds.
What?
By no means am I sponsored by nerds, but if I was, I could make a hell of a commercial.
Oh man.